Hey everybody, we are Atreyu and you're watching Loudwire.
We're Atreyu and we're watching Loudwire.
Hey everyone, Gruhamed here for Loudwire, and I'm here with the entirety of Atreyu. Thank you guys so much. You are here, and I'm happy about that.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stoked to be here.
So I think the reunion, it's been about a year now, and it's really exciting because not only are people going to be reintroduced to new stuff, but I think fans are going to rediscover the old stuff. I think they're going to kind of tap into their inner child a little bit. I know that for me, just with you guys coming in here, I just found myself listening to Right Side of the Bed a bunch of times. It's just kind of that connection to your teenage side, or at least I was a teenager at the time. Has that been the response from your fans?
I think so. I think it's been a few different sides. It's been a lot of people that, have been with us the whole time. Maybe even if they were not young teenagers, it was still 4 or 5 years ago since they last saw our band. So
Sure.
People grow up a lot in that amount of time. There's been a lot of people that have never seen us, or like they heard about us from their older brother or something, and then we stopped playing shows and stopped making music. So they just never got a chance, So there's a lot of new people. So it's kind of cool that I feel like all the shows we're playing, there's like a lot of familiar faces, and then it's kind of nostalgic for some of the older fans. But at the same time, there's so many new people that are coming out, which is, it's surprising to us because that was one of the things when we first started talking about playing again. Is even like something like our social media stuff, like our Facebook page had grown by like 500,000 people with us doing nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a lot of new people as well. So it's cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, and during your hiatus, you guys did a bunch of different projects here and there. During that hiatus, how are you guys able to kind of keep your creative selves occupied and energized? And how are you bringing that energy to Atreyu now?
Well, I think we each kind of have a few different things we were doing, whether it be something musically or something not musically. Even just to kind of challenge ourselves outside of the music world as well, to keep our kind of creative wheels turning and from a different angle. Myself in particular, I was playing with a band called Angels Fall for a little bit. It's kind of more of an active rock type band. Not something I would normally get myself into, but they had some good songs and seemed like something cool at the time that I can kind of dip my hands into and do something refreshing that was a little bit different from Atreyu, as well as I have a clothing line / merch company that I do called Rockwood Merch. So I make a lot of merchandise for a lot of big brands and bands and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it was different too. I feel like us doing creative things outside of Atreyu that weren't. I feel like before our only kind of musical outlet was this band for all of us.
Okay.
So in taking a break, most of us had another musical outlet, and it kind of allowed us to maybe expand on things that we didn't get a chance to do before, that maybe we tried to do with Atreyu, but I don't know, didn't work or whatever. But I think when it had us come back to write Atreyu music again, all we wanted to do was make metal and heavy music and go just have a super aggressive, energetic vibe, So I think that kind of everyone expanding and doing other things that they maybe wanted to do in the past, separated, came back, and we were able to do Atreyu a lot more focused and kind of...
Yeah, I feel like from what he's saying, the band's sound started changing because there were so many musical outlets that we needed and we wanted to get out of ourselves as far as things that we were capable of, and because the only outlet we had was Atreyu, the sound started really altering. So by us stepping back and being able to all go and do our own things, we can kind of get that out of our system, as well as even find a comfortable place to have that outlet and not let it affect the sound of our band and the integrity of our original sound. So I think by us doing that, it's the whole reason why we're able to come back now and be who we are and sound the way we sound and be confident about what we're doing, because that's not in the way anymore. Something in the back of our mind that's already been taken care of. So
Awesome. How about the rest of you guys?
Get it?
I mean, what exactly?
Oh, just what other stuff were you a part of when you were away that kind of helped you stay
My wife
creative?
and I had a kid. I started a gym called Hellenic CrossFit and Muay Thai that I own and run. I'm learned to tattoo, do tattoos now. I did a studio project called I Am War, which is super heavy, so, just occupying myself and doing stuff. But I to touch on what they said, I think everything, we didn't stop to do those things, but those things needed to happen while we were on break for us to come back and just be more focused on this and let this be this and that be that.
Cool, definitely. So, so far, we've heard some new tracks. So Others May Live and Long Live the title track for the new record. How do those tracks represent the new music that you guys are about to put out?
I think pretty well. I think that for us, like making sure that the fans like heard like whatever their first impression was of the album. We wanted obviously to be not similar, but just give you the general vibe. And I think that both of those songs are just high energy and heavy and kind of very clearly show the energy internally in the band right now. So
I think that both those songs encompass a little bit of everything that our band does. I mean, you've got the intensity of like, you know, there's fast parts, there's heavy breakdowns, there's guitar solos, there's big singing choruses, there's brutal screaming parts from both Alex and, you know, Mark. There's like a little bit of everything going on. So like, especially someone who's maybe even new to Atreyu or wants to really get a taste of what we sound like now, like you listen to those songs and it's like,
Very
okay,
clear
they do a
picture.
little bit of everything here. Like I get what this band could potentially do with the rest of the record.
Yeah, and that's, you know, speaking of guitar and shredding, that's always been something that in, you know, the genre that you guys are sort of a part of, whatever that world was, you know, the post-hardcore or whatever you want to call it. It's always been something that stood out was very technical guitar and solos and just ripping shredding, which is always really fun to listen to. We gonna get some more of that?
oh yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I feel like guitar solos in particular are a very big part of like classic rock. It's some of the biggest songs to ever touch this planet, and I feel like because of that, like if you want to write some of the songs to be the biggest songs on the planet, you gotta have some
have
guitar
a
solos.
solo.
gotta give them the goods.
You gotta
give
have
'em the
guitar
goods.
solos.
You want to have one of the biggest songs on the planet, you need a solo.
I think so.
Yeah,
And
that's-
if
it's
we
just-
don't, then Dan and Travis get very grumpy.
Yeah.
So,
Very grumpy.
How important is it for you guys to have people not see Atreyu as like a legacy act?
I mean, here's the thing. I don't. Speaking for myself, I personally don't care about that kind of title or if people perceive us that way. For one, we're not like in our 40s and 50s and like opening for Aerosmith. So like I don't like that to me is a
no,
legacy
I
act.
would do that.
Like Cheap Trick is a legacy act. To
I mean,
me.
is Lamb of God a legacy act?
Exactly. Like
No.
there's so many bands in our genre.
No
I mean,
way.
and
Yeah.
those dudes are like 10 to 15 years older.
Well, it's
than
not
us.
so much age. It's more like having gone and then coming back.
I think that's the
Yeah,
main
it's
reason
the
why people kind
presentation
of.
But that's something we want to make
associate-
clear as well. Is this isn't just like
A
some
cash
like
grab.
cash
Yeah.
grab, like smash and grab, like play some shows, get out. Like we're back, and we wrote a record that proves that. You know.
If it
So
were,
technically-
if it were the album title, it would be very much a giant.
Technically,
lie.
technically, we never broke up. Technically,
true.
we went on hiatus. There was
Okay.
never
Pause
ever
button.
a statement made by this band that was like, "We're done as a band." It's
Yeah.
like we're tired and we don't want to do this for a while.
We need a 4-year nap.
Since the hiatus and since you guys coming back into the forefront, the scene has kind of changed. I think with the internet, a lot of trends and scenes kind of move at a faster pace. It's kind of harder for things to stick. With Atreyu, where do you guys think that you fit in today's musical landscape, or does it not even matter?
I think it's a little bit of everywhere. I feel like we I feel like we kind of outgrew a little bit, like everyone outgrows the scene that they start in. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
and I feel like we were lucky enough to get a more broad audience and a more broad fan base. Like we were able to tour with bands like The Used and Take Back Sunday, and then Lamb of God and Slipknot, and
Yeah.
Linkin Park, and then go to Slayer. Like we've played shows with all these different people. So I think that the broad spectrum of our fans like became a lot different than where we started. But I don't know. I feel like we just fit into like the rock scene or the hard rock scene, metals. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
because
of
we
the
kinda
lines are
cross
very
genres.
blurry there. I feel like, especially bands these days are still touring with so many different kinds of music, and it's mixed
Sure.
up pretty well. So I feel like those lines are definitely kind of blurry with a specific scene where we belong. It's kind of a little bit of everywhere.